You accept and reveal very vulnerable things.
You are watching a movie, enjoying the story, and suddenly something catches your eye. A shadow in the background, a strange message written on a wall, or a mistake that the editors completely missed. You grab the remote and hit that button. Pause, rewind, pause again. We have all done it.
You've got me all wrong. You don't know how hard it is being a woman.
But what if I told you that some of these frozen moments hide secrets that directors never wanted you to see? From ghostly figures on family comedy sets to scandalous frames hidden in cartoons, these scenes changed cinema history. But here's the catch. One scene is still baffling everyone today. The scene Sharon Stone can't take back. It was 1992. The internet was barely a thing and streaming did not exist. If you wanted to see a movie scene again, you had to physically rewind a tape. And there is one specific scene that ruined more VHS players than any other moment in history. We are talking about Basic Instinct. This thriller was already pushing the boundaries with its intense plot and dark themes. But one scene became a cultural phenomenon that people are still talking about more than 30 years later. The setup is simple. Catherine Trammell, played by Sharon Stone, is sitting in a room full of police officers. She is being interrogated for a serious crime. The tension in the room is thick. She is calm, cool, and totally in control, even though she is the one in the hot seat. The detectives are sweating, trying to get a read on her. Then she shifts her weight. In a move that lasts less than a second, she uncrosses her legs and crosses them again. It sounds like nothing, right? Just a person sitting in a chair. But here's the catch. That split second revealed that she was not wearing anything underneath her white dress. This moment hit audiences like a ton of bricks. It was shocking, bold, and incredibly controversial. People could not believe that a mainstream Hollywood movie had included such a revealing shot. In theaters, it happened so fast that you might have missed it if you blinked. But when the movie came out on home video, it was a different story. People rented the tape just for that one scene. They would fast forward to the interrogation, hit play, pause, rewind, and play again. Video rental stores reported that the tapes for Basic Instinct were often damaged or worn out at that exact spot. The magnetic strip literally disintegrated from being played over and over again. But the story behind the scene is even crazier than the scene itself. For years, there has been a massive debate about whether Sharon Stone knew what was being filmed. The director, Paul Verhoeven, wanted the scene to show that the character was completely dominant over the men in the room. He claimed that he told Stone exactly what he wanted. However, Sharon Stone has a different version of events. She has stated in interviews that she was tricked. According to her, the director asked her to remove her undergarment because it was reflecting the light and ruining the shot. She claimed she was told that nothing would be visible on camera. It was not until she saw the final cut of the movie in a room full of agents and lawyers that she realized what had happened. This controversy adds a whole new layer to the pause button. When people freeze that frame, they are not just looking at a scandalous image. They are looking at a moment of conflict between an actor and a director. They are looking at a piece of cinema history where the line between art and exploitation gets very blurry. And getting a clear look was not easy back then. On a fuzzy VHS tape on a tube television, the image was grainy. You had to squint to see anything. It became a sort of Rorschach test. People argued about what they could actually see. It was the low resolution that fueled the fire. Now, with high-definition remasters and 4K televisions, the mystery is gone. You can see everything clearly. But even with the mystery solved, the scene remains powerful. It defines the character of Catherine Trammell. It shows her power. She uses her body as a weapon to distract and confuse the police. And it works. They are so flustered by her confidence that they lose their train of thought. This scene proves that a paused moment is not always about finding a mistake or a hidden ghost. Sometimes it is about raw shock value. It is about a moment that breaks the rules of what we expect to see. It is the ultimate example of, did I really just see that? But this was not the only time a movie made us question our eyes. While Basic Instinct was purely about adult themes, other movies had us hitting pause for much spookier reasons. There are legends of things caught on camera that were never meant to be there. Dark shadows and figures that sparked rumors of tragedy on set. What you are about to see next might make you want to leave the lights on. The spookiest mistake on film. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you definitely heard this story. You are at a sleepover. It is late at night. Someone pops in a VHS copy of the comedy Three Men and a Baby. It is supposed to be a lighthearted movie about three bachelors trying to take care of an infant, but then your friend tells you the secret. Watch the window, they say. Someone died in that apartment. The scene comes up. Ted Danson's character is walking through the house with his mother. In the background, behind sheer curtains, there is a figure. It looks like a small boy standing there staring into the room. He has dark hair and is wearing what looks like a white shirt. He does not move. He just stands there watching. It is terrifying. The rumor spread like wildfire. The story went that a young boy had taken his own life in the apartment where the movie was filmed. People said that the directors did not notice the figure until the movie was released. They said it was a restless spirit caught on celluloid. This legend became so massive that people who had zero interest in the movie rented it just to see the ghost. This is a prime example of the pause effect. The figure is on screen for only a few seconds. If you are just watching the movie casually, you might not even notice it. But once it is pointed out, you cannot unsee it. You hit pause. You stare at the grainy image of the boy. The more you look, the creepier it gets. The grain of the film makes his face look distorted. The lighting makes him look spectral. But here is the catch. The reality is much less scary, though almost as weird. The movie was not filmed in a real apartment. It was filmed on a soundstage in Toronto. No one had died there. So what was the figure? It turns out there was a subplot in the movie that got cut. In the story, Ted Danson's character is an actor. He had filmed a commercial for dog food. In the commercial, he stands next to a cardboard cutout of himself. That cutout was a prop used on the set. After filming the scene with the cutout, someone on the crew forgot to put it away properly. They left it standing behind the curtains near the window. Because the cutout was wearing a tuxedo, white shirt, black jacket, and because of the way the light hit it through the curtains, it looked like a small boy. So the ghost that terrorized millions of children was actually just a piece of cardboard with Ted Danson's face on it. But it gets deeper. In another shot in the same scene, you can actually see the cutout more clearly. But nobody pauses on that frame because it doesn't look scary. People only obsessed over the shot where it looked like a ghost. It shows how much we love a good mystery. We want to be scared. We want to believe that the camera captured something supernatural. This was not the only time a hanging figure caused panic in a classic movie. Go all the way back to The Wizard of Oz. There is a famous scene where Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow are skipping down the yellow brick road. They are singing and heading toward the Emerald City. In the background, deep in the forest set, something is moving. For years, a dark legend circulated. People claimed that one of the actors playing a munchkin had been treated poorly on set. The rumor was that this actor was so despondent that he took his life right there on the soundstage by hanging himself from a tree. And according to the legend, the cameras kept rolling and the editors missed it. If you pause the movie on an old, low-quality copy, it really does look like a dark figure hanging from a branch. It swings slightly back and forth. It is incredibly disturbing to think that such a cheerful movie could hide such a dark tragedy. But again, the truth is different. The set of The Wizard of Oz was filled with live animals to make the forest look real. They had rented birds from the Los Angeles Zoo. What you are seeing in the background is a large bird, specifically a crane or an emu, spreading its wings and moving around. The hanging munchkin is just a big bird stretching its legs. But even with the truth out there, the legend persists. Why? Because the grainy footage allows our brains to fill in the gaps. We see what we expect to see. This phenomenon is called pareidolia, our tendency to see human shapes or faces in random patterns. These ghost stories drove people to the pause button out of fear. But there is another emotion that makes us freeze the frame: curiosity. And sometimes a little bit of mischief, especially when it comes to movies made by the most family-friendly company on earth. You might want to check your childhood memories at the door for this next part. Subliminal messages in cartoons. When you think of Disney, you think of magic, princesses, and talking animals. You do not think of adult humor or subliminal messaging. But in the 1990s, there was a huge panic that Disney animators were sneaking inappropriate things into their movies. This was the golden age of paused moments because people were looking for conspiracies. Let's talk about The Lion King. It is one of the most beloved animated movies of all time. There is a scene where Simba flops down onto the ground on a cliff edge. A cloud of dust and pollen flies up into the night sky. For a brief second, the particles swirl around. Some sharp-eyed viewers hit pause and gasped. They claimed that the dust formed 3 specific letters: S-E-X. The rumor exploded. Parents were furious. They thought Disney was trying to corrupt children with subliminal messages. People were convinced that if you watched this, your brain would register the word even if you didn't consciously see it. SFX is the industry abbreviation for special effects. The special effects team who animated the dust and water wanted to leave a little signature in the movie. It was like an artist signing a painting. Because the letters F and E can look similar in a swirling cloud of dust, it was easy to misinterpret. Was it a harmless signature or a naughty joke? We may never know for sure, but it definitely kept the pause button busy. Then there is Who Framed Roger Rabbit? This movie is a mix of live action and animation, and it is already pretty edgy for a kid's movie. The character of Jessica Rabbit is famous for being incredibly exaggerated. She is drawn to be the ultimate femme fatale. There is a scene where Jessica and Eddie Valiant are in a car crash. The taxi spins out of control and Jessica is thrown from the vehicle. For a split second, her red dress flies up. In the original Laserdisc release, which was a high-quality format for the time, people realized something shocking. The animators had seemingly forgotten to draw her underwear. For a few frames, it looked like Jessica Rabbit was not wearing anything at all. Disney actually had to go back and digitally fix this for future releases. If you watch the movie on Disney Plus today, you won't see it. But the original frames are out there, proving that some animators were having a little too much fun at work. And it wasn't just Roger Rabbit. Look at The Little Mermaid. During the wedding scene near the end, the priest presiding over the ceremony seemed to be a little too excited. There was a weird bulge in his clothing that looked incredibly inappropriate. Again, Disney claimed it was just his knee. They said the character was knobby-kneed and the tunic draped weirdly. But the backlash was so strong that they re-edited the scene for the DVD release to remove the knee completely. What makes these moments so fascinating is that they were practically invisible in theaters. You need home video technology to find them. You need the ability to control time. It turned watching cartoons into a treasure hunt. But not every paused moment is a scandal or a ghost. Sometimes it is just a mistake, a really funny mistake. Even in the biggest blockbusters with the highest budgets, things go wrong. And when they do, we love to freeze the frame and laugh. The next mistake we are going to talk about happened in a galaxy far away, and it proves that even the Empire makes clumsy hires.